Hello. Karen.
Yes. Hi, Kriss.
We're sitting here doing this.
We are.
And it all started over there on that bed.
Yes.
During lashes and beauty treatments and years of conversations, but mostly our epic year last year of both losing our parents.
Yeah. Yep.
So self-care 2K.
Self-care 2K. Yep.
Kriss and Karen. Is kind of being born through going through a really difficult time and then coming on the other side of it and being like, what happened to me? I'm not feeling like myself. I'm not in my best self.
Right. And not only do we want to be our best selves, we want you to join us and inspire each other to be your best self with us, whatever your journey entails. There's no specific journey that you have to be going on.
Well, we're both the kind of people that are always like, our businesses surround doing things for people to help elevate them and make them feel better. I guess I just want to say, like, that's something that we've always had in common.
I agree, yes.
Is that we do care about other people, maybe to the detriment of not caring about ourselves as much. So, like, when you put the mirror up and it looks back this way, wow, that's a whole nother story, is empowering self, setting ourselves free to be the best that we can be. And I just remember, like, I see you like every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks we're in deep conversation about our journey.
Right.
And we were wanting to do like a retreat for women, get women together, learn from other women's stories.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we're like, wait a minute, it's become our own story. So self-care 2K.
Yes.
It's kind of like a race.
Yeah. So why don't you start by telling your story this morning about how your day started?
Oh, yeah. So, I was going to apologize if I look a little tired, but I actually don't, because I got myself looking cute to be side set on Good Morning America this morning. I was doing makeup for Tori Johnson, who was here for Deals and Steals. So I had to get up at 3:30 and, be in Boston and doing makeup by 5:15 this morning. Well, I kind of looked up her picture. I made her up like 6 years ago, and I just wanted to see, like, what does her look like today? So I looked it up, and there's all this press that came up about her weight loss journey. And I was like, whoa, what are the chances I'm going to do makeup? I'm at 2 weeks of trying to find a shift in myself, and one that will last. And then her book she wrote about her weight loss journey is called The Shift. And I'm like, whoa, I don't think I'm going here for makeup. I think there's something bigger going on. So the whole way there, I was like, I can't wait to ask her the question that I want to ask her right now, because I've been at 2 weeks of dieting or trying to lose weight or whatever, so many times.
Right.
So I was doing her makeup, and I told her I bought her book. They're on their way. I'm going to read them. I'm looking for more inspiration from other women. And I said to her, can you tell me the number one thing that is responsible for your success? Because she lost it and has kept it off. It's been 12 years since she started her journey. So 2 weeks, 12 years. So I want to learn from her.
Right.
And so that's what I asked her. And her answer was so powerful. She said to me, Kriss, you have to go into yourself and ask yourself why you're doing this. And your why for you can't have anything to do with anything outside of you. And then that why has to be something that you fully commit yourself to, and you make it the most important thing in your life.
That's deep, yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is like it's a huge commitment. And I was just so grateful to have Tori's input, because that's like what I'm reflecting on is my why. Do you have your why? Like, do you know your real why? Maybe it'll deepen over time and we can do why part 2 down the road. But for right now, at 2 weeks, right?
I do. Yeah, I actually started at the beginning of July. I started Ozempic 2 weeks ago, but I started kind of at the beginning of July with my friend Deirdre, but my why, it isn't anything to do with this. I said feeling comfortable with my own skin. I have type 2 diabetes. It's being medication free and getting my health back and just feeling in control of my life. And it's amazing. You know, I have been perfect like you. I've been perfect these last 2 weeks. Now, I know I'm not expecting perfection forever. That's not my goal. But my commitment to myself has been greater than anything else. And that's just so important. I'm making my health a priority. And you know, you touched on when our parents weren't doing well, and I was taking care of someone else, and I let taking care of myself go. And I don't want to do that anymore. And my mom wouldn't want me to do that. And I'm sure your father.
I mean, yeah, I went on a cupcake bender like last year. You know, my dad, like, he loves sweets. And
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't, right? And it's funny because my dad, my grandfather, I grew up in a family business. It was a vending company. And so as a little girl, you know, I'd go to work with dad and I'd spend time at the family business and go into the candy room, we called it. It was the stock room. It was a huge room with every brand of chocolate bar in boxes piled high. And like me and my brother, my cousins would come out of there with like candy bars stuffed in our, you know, every area we could. Like we would just be loaded up. And I would go home and what do? You take a little bite of that one. That one's going to wonder what that one tastes like. And it's this like pleasure thing. And just like OD on sugar. And this started for me when I was like probably 5 years old.
Right.
And it's just like, you know, and fast forward to last year, you know, my dad always had a sweet tooth, but he's in hospice for 5 months, and cupcakes. I brought him cupcakes every day because like the food in the nursing home was like gross to him. But as soon as I just took a little bit of that cupcake and I fed it to him, his whole face lit up and he was so happy, and it became like what we shared. And I went every day for 5 months and I ate a cupcake a day. And, you know, then he died, you know, and you know, as beautiful of an experience it was to be there with him and all that, you know, the grief on the other side of his absence was just like I felt empty.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, he's gone and I'm still craving cupcakes.
Right.
And I'm on a bender. And like around this time of year, like things are getting really busy with me with work. And my why kind of has a lot to do with showing up for this magnificent life that draws to me all the time with my work as a TV makeup artist.
Yes. Specifically
Political makeup artist. So I'm getting all these gigs on top of my full clientele. I've been in business 36 years. It is the joy of my life to do what I do. But I'm finding myself carrying around sandbags because my weight increased and my energy wasn't there. And I just was like, I don't think I can stay on the path I'm on, the way that I'm eating and gaining weight, and like keep up with the life I'm blessed with.
Right.
And so it is health. You know, blood pressure could be a little high here and there, but nothing substantial for medication. But I'm asthmatic, and my asthma was really, I was taking my inhaler every day because I'm allergic to dairy, wheat, sugar, and corn, you know? And yet that was in all the food that I'm eating. Why am I, for me, it's poison.
Right.
And I guess that brings up the subject of like, our whys are different, and the way we're going to get there is going to be different.
Right. Everybody's path is a different path.
Yeah. And so like what Tori Johnson shared, and I can't wait to read her book, The Shift. Hopefully it'll be in tomorrow. I'll get you a copy too.
Thank you.
And, you know, there'll be some stuff I can relate to, you know, and that's what's so nice about sharing this journey with you, Karen, is that like, I'm not alone and I have an accountability buddy, and, you know, I want to keep my why alive.
Yes.
On the inside. And a lot of times what I do too, because I'm in the beauty business and I was a former Miss New Hampshire, I have a tendency to compare myself to my old self. And like, I'm 59 years old today. I'm very proud to say that, you know, I shouldn't be comparing myself to a 25-year-old.
Right, right.
Even if it was me.
We shouldn't, that brings up a good point, Kriss. We shouldn't be comparing ourselves to anybody. We should be comparing ourselves to what our best version of ourselves, right?
Yes.
And what that plan is. And like Kriss, I've been in business for 22 years, and I run a successful advertising agency, and I started my business with a business plan. I started with a certain set of money and a plan, and this really isn't all that much different for anyone who has a career out there, which many of you do. I would never go borrow money more than what I had. I would never overspend my money or just quit before the magic happens, right? Would you? Of course not.
No, and I said this in my individual video, is that in some areas of my life I am so highly disciplined and focused, but when it comes to food, not. You know, I am now, and I'm seeing what it takes, and it's taking a lot of like mindfulness, a lot of like keeping my why, reminding myself I'm doing this, like staying conscious to it.
Right.
You know, so which kind of brings, I mean, we are going to have an unlimited amount of subjects that we're going to be able to bring to our conversation.
Right. So our next video is going to be about exactly what each one of us are doing.
Yeah, like day-to-day like tools and tips, things that are working for me, things that
Right.
are working for you. Maybe some of them will be the same thing, but maybe some of them will be unique and different to us, you
Yes.
know, and to other people that are listening to this.
Right. So we invite you guys to listen to our next video.